to welcome in a man to the program who is not only a friend but a mentor. He took me under his wing when I first joined the Nation Domination. I've got to give it up for the first Black World Heavyweight Championship, a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. And if this man is not a WWE Hall of Fame, I don't know who is. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Simmons. Ron, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. And you kind of cut my introduction short. There was a lot more there.
I didn't have time. My notes are short. I cut it all off there.
I'll take that, though. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to bring you on the program here tonight. Talk about a little bit. Everybody knows, and we won't stay on this too terribly long because it's a very sad thing. But the recent passing of Andrew Martin, Test. If you could share with us a quick couple stories you have about Test, that'd be great.
Well, no, he and I traveled down the road a little, and he obviously was just starting not long after I'd been up in WWE. So, my time knowing him was very brief, because he came in, I think he stayed maybe a year or two up in New York, and he and I had some matches together, and he was a very good guy, man, very, very talented in the ring, and a very good person outside of the ring. And it's just very unfortunate, of what happened. And I'm sure he'll be surely missed, man. He's a very good guy.
Absolutely.
Also on the program here, a couple co-hosts here. I've got the Juicin Jobber, which I love that name.
Thank you. How you doing, Ron?
All right, the Jobber.
The Juicin Jobber. You gotta love it.
Yeah, where was he when I was in the ring? Heck, I would have loved to beat the hell out of him.
I'd gladly step in the ring with you and let you do whatever. It'd be an honor.
How you doing, Jobber?
I'm doing all right. All things considered, just trying to stay positive.
That's good, man. What can I help you with, brother?
I'm gonna pass around some of the boys here, and just fire off some questions. I'm going to chime in there and ask Ron. Y'all started off. Ron, we all know you were a Hall of Famer in college. Then you quickly left University of Florida, Florida State, which I'll get back to you later on.
Hey.
I was trying to call you a Gator. You're a Seminole, I know. And I'll get back to Florida State in a second. But how quickly after you left football did you realize wrestling was going to be your path?
Well, no, there was no consideration with that. I had started to try to get into communications, which I left college in, and I was trying to get a job in broadcasting or doing some voiceover work down in Tampa. But unfortunately, I couldn't work my way in as quick as I needed to because I needed to earn some money right away. So I took a job working at the detention center in Tampa, Florida, and Hiro Matsuda's training facility was right behind the detention center where I was working. I had no idea of that because I didn't know of or even thinking about getting into professional wrestling. And I was out in the field one day giving the kids some recreation, and that's where he walked over and came up to me and, started asking all these weird questions. Of course, at first I thought, uh-oh, not one of these, not a Japanese guy like this. When he started touching me and all this crap, right? So he said, hey, you look like you're in good shape. I said, well, yeah, man. Hey, what's this going to? Where's this leading to, So he said, no, I'm a professional trainer, professional wrestlers, and you look like you would be in good enough shape to try to give it a shot. I said, no, man, forget it. I've had enough physical stuff with football. And he said, how much you're making here? I said, not much. He said, you can double it. Okay, I'll give it a shot. and that's really how that all started with me. I'd always liked and tune in to see professional wrestling, but it wasn't on my idea of looking at it as a profession. But of course, the money, like it does with most of us, catches our attention, and it did. But I can tell you, once I went over, I quickly changed my mind because he nearly beat me to death, and I thought I'd gone through a lot of tough things in the ring. In football. And two-a-days and professional football, I said, hey, that was no comparison. And I did, fortunately, hang in there, man, and up 26 years later, there I was, still there.
Now, you mentioned Hiro Matsuda. He is a world-renowned trainer. He trains these guys as, Hogan and Paul Orndorff and Lex Luger, Muta and Ric Flair. And we talked to we talked to Cowboy Bob Orton the other day, and Matsuda also trained him. what was he like as the guy to break you in?
Matsuda, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, God, man. Look, I think there's a tape that's circulating that has myself and a bunch of other guys on there of his training technique. And listen, they're unmatched. I mean, there's nothing that even come close to his training techniques. I mean, it goes from beating you with a board, with a rope, with just doing no in-ring work, just cardiovascular for about 2 hours straight. And then if that wasn't enough, it would take you to Japan and beat the crap out of you. So, I mean, it was, but as I look at it now and look back at it, I wouldn't have had it any other way. As you can see, a lot of guys try to come from football to get into professional wrestling, but they quickly find out that, hey, football doesn't even hold a candle to doing this professional wrestling every day, and sometimes twice a day. So that rigorous training, man, set me up for the length of stay that I've had in professional wrestling. So I can contribute all of that to that very hard training that Matsuda put me through. So I'm very fortunate for that.
Definitely. By the way, my name's JT Evans. I wanted to welcome you to the show, and I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure, Jimmy.
Okay. My question for you is, with all the, passings in wrestling, what do you feel that we could do to maybe help wrestlers so that we don't lose so many? Because I'm an indie worker myself, and, even though I don't know these guys close, being a worker still hurts me seeing all these passings.
And, hey, unless you got some magical powers and can play God, that's the only way you can stop it. No one else can. I mean, the only thing you can do, nobody can oversee anybody 24/7. I mean, guys, myself included, hey, we're adults in this. We know what's good for you and what's not. And, I mean, only thing that the promoter's doing, which I can honestly say Vince has done his very best in order to try and help guys that have substance abuse and that has problems with that. And that's the only thing that you can do is provide the help, and it's up to us to take it. And, but it's just no other way that you can stop that. You can't be on someone and be around them 24/7, man. The only thing you can do is try to extend a helping hand to someone if they need it, and just pray for them, man. There's no other way that you can stop that. So, I mean, you can't contribute one thing to saying that it's just, professional wrestling doing this and doing that. I mean, it's unfortunate that, that deaths occurred, it looks like, in our profession, back to back. But, hey, if you contribute that to that deaths that happen in any other profession, I'll guarantee you that you will see that, hey, it balances itself out. It just so happened that we happen to have unfortunate incidents that has happened that has caught media attention. So that's what the big deal is about that. So, I mean, you just can't stop it. There's no way.
Mm-hmm. Ron, first off, I'm also co-host. My name is Alex R. How are you today? Ron? Hello?
Did we lose Ron there?
I think,
it's showing that he's still on. It's showing that he's still on. And he's unmuted, so he should be able to talk.
Ron,
and it was, we just lost him.
Right. Tell Ron, I just have to have Ron to call back.
Damn.
No, we just lost Ron Simmons. But, it looks like he's calling back in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back to the broadcast, Ron Simmons.
Yes, I'm back.
Ron, you need to get rid of that Florida State phone, man. You got to get rid of that Florida State phone.
Hey, this is a Gator phone. See, that's why it's cutting off.
Oh, that's why it didn't work.